If you've ever wondered whether she's secretly crazy about you but too afraid to admit it, this video will open your eyes. The second sign will shock you because it's something most men never notice until it's too late. Stay till the end. It might just change how you see women forever. Comment your location, subscribe for more Jessica Opare motivation. You can always tell when a woman's heart is drawn to a man, even when she thinks she's hiding it well. Attraction, at its core, isn't something that can be perfectly concealed. It leaks through her behavior, her body language, and the small choices she makes without thinking. The first hidden sign that she's crazy about you lies in her subtle obsession with your presence. It's not always loud or obvious. In fact, the more she tries to seem unaffected, the more you can sense that magnetic pull underneath. A woman who is truly into you doesn't always announce it with words. Instead, she finds ways to exist within your world. She'll show up in the spaces where you happen to be, not necessarily chasing you, but aligning her path with yours. Maybe she's at that event you casually mentioned, or she happens to pass by your usual coffee spot. It's never random. The psychology behind this is fascinating. It's called proximity attraction. When someone's emotions are deeply tied to another person, they subconsciously seek closeness. Not physical touch alone, but emotional nearness. Being in your presence gives her an unspoken sense of comfort and excitement, a mix of stability and thrill that she can't fully explain. You might notice her eyes find you in a crowded room, or that she lingers a little longer in conversation even when it's about nothing. She laughs more easily around you, not because every joke is funny, but because your energy relaxes her guard. This isn't manipulation, it's biology. The dopamine rush she feels when she's near you subtly changes her behavior. She's more expressive, more curious, more alive. Her attention becomes a reflection of what she values, and in that moment it's you. There's also a quiet intentionality in the way she pays attention to details. She notices things most people overlook. The way you fix your sleeves, your tone when you're tired, or how your energy shifts when you're deep in thought. This kind of awareness doesn't happen accidentally. It's emotional attunement, the brain's way of saying, this person matters. And what's even more interesting is that she often doesn't realize she's doing it. The pull toward you is instinctive. It's how connection works when emotion overpowers reason. Some men mistake this subtle obsession for friendliness or politeness, but the truth runs deeper. When a woman is crazy about you, she'll remember things you said in passing, a song you like, a challenge you mentioned, a dream you once shared casually, and she'll bring it up later. That's not small talk, that's emotional memory. It's her heart keeping track of you. She's building a silent narrative around who you are, and whether you realize it or not, she's writing you into her emotional world. But here's where most men fail to see the depth. A woman in love doesn't always move forward. Sometimes she retreats. She'll pull back, go quiet, even act indifferent, not because she's lost interest, but because she's afraid of exposing too much. Emotional vulnerability, for many women, is both thrilling and terrifying. Her silence isn't absence, it's self-protection. She's feeling more than she can express, and her mind is fighting between desire and restraint. That's why her behavior can seem unpredictable. One day she's warm and open, the next she's distant. It's not confusion. It's her heart negotiating safety. If you look closer, though, the truth remains consistent. She makes time for you. She engages with your presence, even when she pretends not to. She finds reasons to connect, a question, a favor, a shared interest, just to keep the dialogue alive. These small bridges are her way of saying, I want to stay in your world, even if I can't say it out loud. It's the quietest form of devotion, one that doesn't demand attention, but seeks it nonetheless. And there's something profoundly beautiful about that, because when a woman's energy starts orbiting around you, it's not just attraction, it's alignment. She's drawn to what you represent, not just who you are. Your presence gives her something she subconsciously craves: emotional stability, curiosity, and the feeling of being alive in her femininity. That's why she keeps returning to it. She's not addicted to you as a person. She's addicted to how she feels when she's near you. But men often overlook this because they're waiting for grand gestures. They expect direct confessions or obvious flirtation, not realizing that real emotional attachment lives in the subtleties. It's in the timing of her texts, the softness in her tone when she says your name, the way she remembers something small you thought she forgot. These are not coincidences. They are signs of emotional investment, written in gestures instead of words. So if you ever notice her seeking your presence without explanation, don't dismiss it. Pay attention to what her energy is saying. Sometimes the heart speaks in silence long before the lips find the courage to follow. A woman who's crazy about you won't always tell you directly, but her patterns, her presence, and her quiet loyalty will, and that's the beauty of human connection. It doesn't need to be declared to be real. Sometimes it only needs to be felt. Because when a woman's heart chooses you, her presence tells the story her words never could. Now here's where things get truly fascinating, and honestly a little shocking for most men to realize. When a woman is crazy about you, her emotional world starts to shift in ways that she can't completely control. You'll see it in her reactions, especially the ones that seem a little exaggerated, unpredictable, or even contradictory. And that's the second hidden sign most men completely miss. Her emotions give her away long before her words ever do. You see, women are emotional beings by design, but when a woman develops deep feelings for someone, those emotions become magnified. Her mind and her heart enter a quiet tug of war. On the surface, she might act calm, collected, even indifferent. But underneath, she's feeling everything: curiosity, fear, longing, jealousy, excitement, vulnerability, all at once. That's why her emotions can sometimes seem inconsistent. One moment she's warm and affectionate, the next she's distant or irritable. It's not confusion, it's emotional intensity. It's her heart trying to find balance between wanting you and protecting herself from you. Men often misinterpret this as drama or emotional instability, but if you look deeper, it's actually evidence of genuine attachment. When she doesn't care about you, nothing you do affects her. You could disappear for days, say something careless, or pull back your energy, and she'd remain unmoved. But when she's crazy about you, your every action carries emotional weight. A simple text, a delayed response, or a shift in your tone can trigger an entire storm of feelings within her. That's how deeply you matter. And here's the psychology behind it. Emotional intensity comes from investment. The more emotionally invested a person is, the more vulnerable they become to disappointment, rejection, or loss. So when a woman's emotions start to fluctuate around you, it means she's given you emotional power. You affect her state of being. That's not something she does lightly. For a woman to hand over that emotional influence, even unconsciously, means you've touched something real inside her. You might notice she gets jealous easily, even over things that seem small. Maybe she reacts when you mention another woman, or she becomes distant after seeing you engage warmly with someone else. That reaction isn't about control, it's about fear. The fear of losing emotional territory she hasn't even claimed out loud yet. Love, or even the beginning of it, always carries that risk. It's not about possession, it's about emotional security. When she feels that slipping, her heart panics before her mind can reason. At the same time, you'll see a different side of her emerge. One that's more nurturing, more protective of your well-being. She might scold you for not eating properly, show concern when you seem off, or push you to do better when she senses you're settling. These aren't random behaviors. They're signs of emotional alignment. Her care is a reflection of her attachment. She's emotionally tethered to your happiness, and even if she tries to downplay it, that tether becomes obvious over time. What's even more fascinating is how emotion and ego begin to collide at this stage. When a woman realizes she's feeling too much, she may instinctively pull back. It's her defense mechanism. Emotional exposure makes her feel vulnerable, and vulnerability can feel dangerous, especially if she's been hurt before. So instead of saying, "I like you," she might become cold. Instead of expressing jealousy, she might act uninterested. It's a paradox. The more she feels, the more she hides. But if you listen closely to her tone, to the pauses between her words, you'll hear what she's not saying. Now, philosophically speaking, this emotional unpredictability isn't chaos. It's clarity in disguise. Love, in its raw form, isn't calm. It shakes you, tests you, and forces you to confront parts of yourself you thought were buried. For her, your presence becomes both comfort and challenge. You awaken something within her that she can't easily rationalize. That's why she overreacts, why she seems emotionally heightened, because she's no longer in full control of what she feels. And that's the real sign she's crazy about you. When her emotions start to orbit around your actions, you become the emotional center of her world, even if she never says it aloud. Every laugh, every silence, every slight, they all carry meaning. The truth is, emotional turbulence is the language of passion. It's not always smooth, but it's deeply authentic. A woman who doesn't care about you will always remain composed. A woman who loves you will, at some point, lose that composure. Because where there is emotional risk, there is emotional truth. So the next time she gets upset over something small or seems frustrated for no apparent reason, don't just dismiss it. Look deeper. Ask yourself, what emotion is hiding underneath that reaction? Because 9 times out of 10, it's love trying to find a safe way to express itself. Sometimes it comes out as irritation, sometimes as silence, sometimes as passion. But it always means she feels something powerful. That's what most men miss. They confuse emotional depth with emotional instability. But the truth is, the woman who reacts strongly to you isn't broken. She's brave. Brave enough to feel something deeply in a world that teaches people to hide their hearts. Her reactions aren't a warning sign. They're a window into how much she cares, how much she hopes, and how much she's silently rooting for you to see her beyond the surface. Because love, real love, doesn't always announce itself with perfect timing or calm words. Sometimes it reveals itself in the tremor of her voice, in the frustration she can't explain, in the tears she tries to hide. And if you can learn to see through those emotions, to recognize the affection behind the chaos, you'll understand one of life's greatest truths. That the strongest connections aren't always the neatest ones. They're the ones that make you feel everything. Because when her emotions begin to revolve around you, it's not confusion. It's love disguised as chaos. And that's how you know she's truly, deeply, undeniably crazy about you. There's something almost magical about human connection. The way 2 people can start out as strangers and slowly begin to reflect one another without even realizing it. When a woman is truly crazy about you, one of the most subtle yet powerful signs is that she begins to mirror you. Not intentionally, not in some manipulative way, but naturally, instinctively, as if her subconscious starts syncing with yours. This mirroring isn't just behavioral imitation. It's a silent emotional language, a sign that her heart and mind are aligning with your energy. You'll see it in the small things first. The way she starts using some of your favorite words or phrases, the rhythm of her speech shifting to match yours, or how her humor begins to blend with your style of wit. Maybe she starts listening to the kind of music you enjoy, or she develops a sudden interest in something you're passionate about. It's not coincidence. It's a reflection of emotional resonance. Psychologically, we mirror those we feel connected to because our brains are wired for empathy and bonding. When she mirrors you, it's her subconscious way of saying, I see you, I feel you, and I'm with you. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. This mirroring isn't just about mimicry, it's about emotional attunement. When a woman is deeply drawn to you, her nervous system actually begins to respond to yours. Your energy sets the tone for hers. If you're calm, she feels at ease. If you're distant, she feels anxious. It's a kind of invisible dance, one that reflects not control, but connection. It's her body and mind adapting to the rhythm of someone she feels safe with. That's why two people who truly connect often start moving, talking, even breathing in sync. It's biology's way of saying, these two belong in the same emotional space. You'll notice it in conversations, too. When she's crazy about you, she listens differently. She doesn't just hear your words, she absorbs them. She's alert to your tone, your pauses, the emotional undercurrent of what you're saying. And soon enough, her responses begin to mirror not just your language, but your emotional state. When you're passionate about something, she lights up too. When you're reflective, she grows quieter, matching your mood without effort. That's emotional mirroring, a deep, unconscious sign of intimacy and understanding. The philosophy behind this is beautiful. Connection, at its purest form, is imitation born out of admiration. When someone values you, they want to reflect what they find beautiful in you. A woman who mirrors your energy isn't losing herself. She's expressing her desire to be emotionally compatible with you. It's her way of building a bridge between her world and yours. And the stronger her feelings grow, the more naturally that alignment happens. There's also a deeper psychological truth here. Mirroring is one of the brain's ways of seeking belonging. We're social creatures, and our minds crave emotional synchrony. It's how we build trust. So when she starts adopting little parts of your personality, it's because she wants to belong in your emotional world. You've become her emotional reference point, the standard against which she measures safety, humor, and affection. And that's not something that happens with just anyone. It only happens when attraction deepens into connection. But there's a delicate balance. Some men mistake this mirroring as manipulation, thinking she's only pretending to like what he likes. That's rarely true when the attraction is genuine. The difference lies in consistency. If her mirroring feels effortless, unforced, and grounded in real curiosity, it's authentic. She's not trying to become you. She's trying to understand you by emotionally stepping into your rhythm. That's how empathy works in love. Not by imitation, but by alignment. And over time, this connection deepens beyond behavior into something more spiritual. When she mirrors you emotionally, she begins to feel your moods before you even speak. She senses when something's off, when you're holding back, when your silence carries weight. That's the level of connection where intuition takes over. It's as if her spirit has tuned itself to your frequency. You don't have to explain. She just knows. That level of attunement doesn't come from flirting or infatuation. It comes from emotional intimacy, the kind that develops only when two people truly see one another. But there's something important for men to understand here. When a woman starts mirroring you, it's not a sign that she's lost her individuality. In fact, it's a compliment to your emotional influence. It means she feels safe enough to let her guard down, to be open to your energy, and to allow your presence to shape her experience. That's not weakness. It's vulnerability. And vulnerability is the foundation of love. The real question is, what are you reflecting back to her? Because when someone mirrors you, you also become a mirror for them. If your energy is grounded, confident, and kind, that's what she'll absorb. If your energy is inconsistent or careless, she'll feel that too. Emotional mirroring works both ways. It's a feedback loop that either strengthens the bond or slowly erodes it. That's why emotional awareness is so crucial. The way you carry yourself doesn't just affect how she perceives you, it shapes how she feels around you. When a woman is crazy about you, she doesn't just want to be near you. She wants to be aligned with you, not controlled, not dominated. Aligned. That's the essence of real attraction. It's not about two people becoming identical. It's about two energies finding harmony. And when that harmony happens, it's powerful. You start finishing each other's sentences, laughing at the same unspoken joke, sharing silences that feel full instead of empty. That's connection on a soul level. So pay attention to the subtle ways she reflects you, the way she starts adopting your little habits, the tone she uses when speaking to you, or how she begins to understand your emotions before you explain them. Those aren't coincidences. They're confessions without words. It's her heart speaking through behavior, telling you what her lips may be too afraid to say. Because love doesn't always arrive in declarations or dramatic gestures. Sometimes it shows up quietly in mirrored laughter, shared energy, and the silent synchronization of two souls who found something rare in one another. And when she begins to reflect your essence back to you, that's not imitation, that's emotional intimacy in its purest form. The kind that doesn't just connect two people, but transforms them both.